Geoffrey Pike was an English journalist and inventor whose clever but unorthodox ideas could be difficult to implement. In March 1942, Pike proposed an idea which he named Project Plough to Lord Louis Mountbatten, Chief of Combined Operations Headquarters, that Allied commandos be parachuted into the Norwegian mountains to establish a cover base in West Norway for guerrilla operations against the German army. Equipped with Pike's proposed snow vehicles, they would attack strategic targets such as hydroelectric power plants. Pike persuaded Mountbatten that such a force would be virtually invulnerable in its strongholds and would tie down large numbers of German troops trying to dislodge it. In July 1942, the Canadian Minister of National Defence, James Ralston, approved the assignment of 697 officers and enlisted men for Project Plough under a guise that they would be forming Canada's 1st Airborne Unit, the 1st Canadian Parachute Battalion. US recruitment was a bit different. Letters of recruitment were posted to all US Army units in the Southwest and on the Pacific Coast. The letters called for single men aged 21 to 35 with 3 or more years of grammar school. Occupations preferred rangers, lumberjacks, hunters, and explorers. Those chosen, owing to the secrecy of the mission, were often told that they had been selected to undergo training for a parachute unit. In late 1943, the original Project Plough was abandoned, but in October 1943, the commander of the United States Fifth Army, General Mark W. Clark, brought the 1st Special Service Force, the official name of its unit, to Italy, where its members demonstrated the value of their unique skills and training. The force was tasked with taking 2 heavily fortified German positions in the Italian mountains, one at Monte la Difensa and the other one at Monte la Remetena. The importance of these mountains lay in their position relative to Hitler's Gustav Line, that is, the German winter line positioned on La Difensa and Remetana were the last entrenched lines before the Gustav, and the Allied push through the mountains would enable them to advance closer to Rome. The assault was planned for the 2nd of December, while the men were trained in mountain climbing and fighting. After reaching the base of the mountain and having had a single night's rest, 600 men began their ascent to La Difensa at dusk under cover of a heavy artillery barrage. One soldier recalls the severity of the shelling. It looked as if we were marching into hell. The soldiers came within range of the German positions at midnight and began to climb the final cliff, which jutted steeply upwards for 300 meters. The men climbed with ropes tied to one another in the freezing rain. Through gun and mortar fire, the men managed to set up machine guns and return fire, surprising and overwhelming the Germans. The Fifth Army staff had guessed that the battle would last between 4 to 5 days, but within 2 hours the Germans on La Difensa had returned. The successful assault on Difensa was the basis for the 1968 motion picture titled The Devil's Brigade. During the mountain campaign, the 1st Special Service Force suffered 77% casualties, 91 dead, 9 missing, and 313 wounded. It was later at Anzio that the Germans dubbed the 1st Special Service Force the Black Devils. They were referred black because the brigade's members smeared their faces with black boot polish for their covert operations in the dark of the night. During Anzio, the 1st Special Service Force fought for 99 days without relief. It was also at Anzio that the 1st Special Service Force used their trademark stickers. During night patrol, soldiers would carry stickers depicting the unit's badge and a slogan written in German, Das dicke Ende kommt noch, said to translate to English as the worst is yet to come. When the US Fifth Army's breakout offensive began on the 25th of May 1944, the 1st Special Service Force was given the assignment of capturing 7 bridges in Rome to prevent their demolition by the withdrawing Wehrmacht units. During the night of 4th of June, members of the 1st Special Service Force entered Rome, one of the first Allied units to do so. On the 19th of August 1944, the 1st Special Service Force landed on an island in southern France. They fought the small battle for Port Cross, in which they captured 5 ports on the island from the German army. The 1st Special Service Force was finally disbanded on the 5th of December 1944 in France. During the war, the 1,800-man unit accounted for some 12,000 German casualties, captured some 7,000 prisoners, and sustained an attrition rate of over 600%. The 1st Special Service Force is claimed as a direct ancestor by 2 modern special operation units, the Canadian Special Operations Regiment and the 1st Special Forces Command Airborne of the United States Army Special Operations Command. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe and support my channel on PayPal. Details in the description box.